So in this lesson, we're going to solve quadratic equations by graphing. So example 1, how do I determine the number of solutions? All right, in our first example, this example has two solutions. And the reason it has two solutions is that our solutions is where that parabola crosses the x-axis. And notice that the parabola is crossing the x-axis. All right, so it appears that x is equal to, it looks like the graph is going down by 2's. So x is equal to -2, that's the first place that it's crossing the graph. And x is also equal to then -6. Where in our second example here, notice that this is a one solution. And it has one solution because it is crossing on the x-axis at just one place. Our vertex is there on the x-axis. So in that case, our solution here is x is equal to -1. And then in our last example, notice that we have no solution. And the reason why there's no solution, remember that when you're looking on the graph, it's where the parabola is crossing on that x-axis. Well, notice how it does not cross on the x-axis. So this is going to be a no solution. All right, example number 2, how do I graph using a graphing calculator? All right, so we're going to use the graphing calculator to graph these to find the solutions. So the first step that we're going to do as we are graphing these is that we need to do the order here. You're going to put the equation in. And the first thing then that you're going to do is you do need to say y is equal to, and then you're going to put the equation in. So y is equal to, so you're pressing this button right up here, the y is equal to, and then we're going to enter in our equation. Our equation is x squared minus 2x minus 3. All right, so when we do that, to get our x squared, we need to actually hit this alpha lock. So you're pressing the alpha lock, and then you're pressing your x button, which is right down here. Notice it's on the bottom, the second one to the bottom there. So now we have our x, and then we can just continue. We can put in our x squared or square it. You could even use a caret button, it doesn't matter. Minus 2, and now to put the x in again, you have to do that alpha lock, and then we're going to put the x, and now minus 3. All right, so now that we have your equation in, the next step that you need to do is you need to then hit the graph button, which is up here on the right. You see where it has shown it? It's in the red, up on the right there. And you should have a graph that looks like this. Now, the next step that we have to do is we have to do the second calculate. So that's right after this, hit the graph, you're going to do the second button, and then you're going to do the calculate. And you need to scroll on down to where it says the 0, and you're then going to press enter, because remember, we're looking for the zeros of the equation. All right, now we have this in it. Notice how it says left bound. So because it says left bound, we're going to go off, and we're going to go, it's almost like if you were to turn your calculator a little bit, it's to the left of that x-axis. And then you're going to press enter. And then now see how it says right bound? Well, we're going to scroll on over to where you're just underneath the line. That's going to be the right bound, and you're going to press enter again. And now notice then how it says guess. So then you have to press enter one more time. And what we have then, notice it says on my calculator, it has x is equal to -1. And then in that case, then y is equal to 0. So you'd walk to the -1, go up 0. So I know that one of our values for x is that x is equal to -1. Well, we know that there's another value that we have to find as well. So we have to go back to repeat this. We're going to be repeating this whole part to find the other x-intercept. So you're going to go back and you're going to go to the second. And then you'll press calculate again. So we did the second button and the calculate button. And again, we're finding the 0. So you press enter. And now we have to scroll all the way over to that right side of our graph. And if you were to turn your calculator, you would find that the left bound now is going to be right underneath the x-axis. And you're going to press enter. And then it says right bound, so we're going to go just above the line and enter. And then it says guess, so we're going to enter it again. And notice how now it says x is equal to 3. All right, let's start this again. Let's try the next one. It says for number 2, y is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 2. So again, remember our first step is to put the equation into our calculator. And then we have to put in the x squared plus 4x plus 2. So remember, to put the x squared in, you have to have the alpha lock so you can get that x. And now we're going to square it. And then plus 4. And now we've got the x, so we're going to do the alpha again to get to our x, and then plus 2. And we're going to enter. Oops, nope, I'm sorry, we're supposed to graph that. All right, so now we've got this on the graph. And then remember that we have to then find our zeros. And so we're going to then start by doing the second calculate. And then again, we're going to come on down to the 0. And we're going to then press enter. And now we're going to scroll all the way over here so we can get to that left bound. And remember, the left bound then for that first one, it's like if you turned your calculator, just like turned it, it would then be on the left of the x-axis. And so we're going to press enter. Now we're going to go to the right of it, press enter. And then where it says to guess, we'll press enter again. And then notice that our 0 is x is equal to 3, let's just round it to 3.41. All right, so now remember we have to repeat this step again. So we're going to come over to the other side. I press second, and I'm going to do calculate. And again, we're going to go down and find the 0, enter. And now we're going to head all the way over here where the left bound is right underneath the line, enter. Scroll going above the line, enter. And then again, you have to guess. So we're going to then have, in this case, now notice our x is equal to, let's just round it to 5.9. All right, for question number 3, let's go ahead and again, we're going to put this in our calculator. We're going to start by putting the y is equal to. And in this case, we've got the negative x squared, so we have to put the negative there first. And remember, x, you have to do the alpha lock, and you're going to come down here and you're going to find the x. And now we've got to square it. And then now we're going to have our plus 6 again, our x, and then minus 9. All right, so once you've got your equation in, remember now you're going to then graph. And now what I want you to notice for this one, notice how we just have one point that is on our on that x-axis. And also notice that the parabola, it flipped over because we had that negative in front of the a. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're going to do our second calculate. And again, we're going to find our 0. And let's head up over, oops. So now both of these are going to be, this will be our left, so just go as close as you can, enter. And then we're going to go to the right, enter. And now it wants you to guess. And so it guessed then, and it appears that x, and let's just round that to x is equal to 3. And we only have one x because it appears that that vertex is right there on the 3. All right, for question number 4, we have y is equal to x squared minus 5x plus 7. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to enter it into our calculator. And we're going to do alpha, and then x, and then we go, oh gosh, I did that wrong. Let's see if I can fix it. Squared. I'm just going to start over. Y is equal to alpha log x squared minus 5 alpha x plus 7. All right, now once you've got that in there, we're going to then press graph. Now notice how that on the graph it's coming and it's above the line. And so because it does not go through the x-axis, then remember this one would be a no solution. All right, so for question number 5, notice how we have 5x squared plus 30x is equal to negative 30. Well, what we're going to need to do, because we need to write this and graph it as a y is equal to, so we need to move that negative 30 over to the other side. So we're just going to add 30 to both sides. So the equation that we're going to put in the calculator is y is equal to 5x squared plus 30x plus 30. All right, so again, y is equal to, and then we have 5, and then to get our x, we're going to do alpha x, and now squared, plus 30 alpha x plus 30. And now we'll graph. All right, so let's go ahead then, and then we'll find our left bound and our right bound, and then so we'll go second, calculate, we want the 0, oops, all right, enter, enter, and then we're going to guess. All right, so our x is equal to negative 4.73. So x is equal to negative 4 point, let's just say 7. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to find your right bound by doing the second calculate. And your right bound, then you should get x is equal to negative 1.26. All right, so in this lesson, we took a look at how to find the minimum and maximum, and then how to find the solutions by graphing them on the calculator.